Thank you for taking time out of your day to view floodwize, our comprehensive floodplain management tool. floodwize automates FEMA map lookups, provides accurate boundary data, and improves public service delivery. Most importantly, it saves you time. floodwize is currently utilized by certified floodplain managers and surveyors to quickly and precisely locate and plot positions on FEMA maps, aerial photos, surveys, and custom maps. floodwize also provides a catalog of industry documents such as flood hazard forms, elevation certificates, letters of map revision and amendment, and much more. floodwize is locally installed on each licensed user's workstation. To launch floodwize, you will simply double-click the floodwize icon that will be installed on your desktop. You will then be prompted for your system ID and password. If your floodwize database is equipped with data from only one county, that county's index map will automatically load. If your floodwize database contains multiple counties, as you see here in this example, floodwize will prompt you to select the county index map you wish to work with. I'll choose Ventura. Let's talk briefly about the system's structure. Everything is designed around a marked position, or simply put, a location on Earth. floodwize allows users to view marked positions on what we call a layer. A layer might be a flood insurance rate map, an aerial photo, a survey, or even a custom map image. I'll be referring to these layers throughout the demonstration and will access them from the Active Image Layers dropdown on the right-hand side of my screen. From this dropdown, we can see all of the layers available to us for this marked position. A flood insurance rate map layer is identified by FIRM. An aerial photo layer is identified by DOQ. An index map layer is identified by index, and so on. Once a marked position is displayed on whatever layer you choose, it can be overlaid onto the surface of Google Earth in 3D with the click of your mouse. Now let's navigate through the floodwize toolbar. From left to right, we see a search button, maximum and minimum views, zoom in and zoom out, the forms library, document search, our system utilities, a print button, system help, our Google Earth launch, and the mark button clearly denoted in red is the first action to begin anything in floodwize. Also keep your eye on the text directly below the toolbar as we walk through today's demonstration. You'll see a simple set of instructions and status updates throughout each step. While we're here, I'd like to point out a simple search feature that we've incorporated into the system. If you happen to be an individual that memorizes flood insurance rate map numbers, we've provided you with the ability to quickly locate a flood insurance rate map from this search list. This quick search feature also applies to the other layers in the system, such as aerial photos and index maps. Another feature I'll go ahead and point out while we're here is the ability to save your information as a project at any time. We all get interrupted throughout the day and we're forced to leave our desks and return to continue efforts where we left off. This feature allows a user to save and easily restore project information such as marked positions, plotted boundaries, or completed forms by selecting the project that you've saved from the list that you see here. As I mentioned, establishing a position on the surface of the Earth is a first step to begin using floodwize. The most accurate method, but not necessarily the fastest, is by entering the latitude, longitude, or UTM coordinates that you've collected from a GPS device or perhaps another means. From the search button in the toolbar at the top of my screen, I can select lat/lon and then enter the coordinates that I've collected, and then hit locate. Now I see my accurate marked position on the flood insurance rate map. I can see that my position is near flood zone X and flood zone AE. If I want to measure the exact distance from my marked position to a position in the flood zone, I can click the ruler at the bottom of my screen, click on the position in the desired flood zone, and calculate the distance. You see it's approximately 2,726 feet from my marked position. A second way to locate a position on the surface of the earth in floodwise is to mark the position from the county index map, which we see here. I'll go ahead and mark my position in Oxnard. Now I want to hone in on a specific structure, so I'm going to pull up the aerial photo layer. I'm going to select the white building to the left of my marked position and mark it. Now to see how my structure relates to the flood zone, I'll pull up the associated flood insurance rate map layer from the right-hand side of my screen. We can see that our structure is in flood zone X and near flood zone AO. The third and final way to locate a position on the surface of the earth in floodwise is by a simple address lookup. From the search menu at the top of my screen, I'll select Google Address, and Google Earth will launch. In the upper left-hand corner of Google Earth, I would enter the address in question and hit return. In the interest of time, I'll leverage an address that I've previously used. Google Earth navigates to that position, and from that location I can right-click and a menu will display that allows me to copy. I will then return to Floodwise and from the search menu select Google Lat Long. Floodwise processes that copied address from Google Earth, and we see our position displayed right on the flood insurance rate map. Remember, the primary intent of Floodwise is to provide you with a fast and accurate means by which to locate a correct FEMA map and to show an exact position on that flood insurance rate map. Now for those who conduct surveys, and you need to know where National Geodetic Surveys, or what we commonly refer to in the industry as NGS control points are, Floodwise maintains an NGS database for each county. From the Document Search button, I can select NGS Search to see the NGS control points sorted in order of distance from a marked position. Note that the first NGS control point in the list is the shortest distance from your marked position. I can see the miles in the lower left-hand corner of my screen. Also note that the NGS control point is displayed on the aerial photo in the lower right-hand side of your screen. This NGS search feature aids surveyors in planning by knowing the closest control point near them. You may also add your own custom benchmarks at any time. Let's navigate back to our Utilities menu and take a look at how you can overlay objects such as boundaries and symbols. To do this, we'll select the Plot Layer Editor. Now if you're an ESRI GIS user, it's important to know that you may import and export your ESRI shapefiles in Floodwise. This gives you the ability to view data from your GIS system on flood insurance rate maps and on the surface of Google Earth. Also from this plot layer editor, we see a list of plot layers. A plot layer, simply stated, is just a series of coordinates that makes up a defined area. I have an infinite number of plot layers, and each plot layer can contain an infinite number of objects. To view the objects, I simply select the layer and click on the object below. What appears is a window that provides the object's properties. You'll see the coordinates that make up the object, and you'll notice the ability to change the color that defines the perimeter of your boundary. And you'll also see an info button that invokes an object information data sheet. This sheet can be updated with pertinent information and printed at any time. Another feature I'd like to show you is the ability to geocode an image. Simply stated, this is an ability to upload a custom map image into Floodwise so that it becomes another layer in your database. In this example, we've uploaded a custom Ventura County map into the system and Floodwise geocoded it so that it can be utilized as an active image layer. Now that active image layer was saved to a project, so we'll pull up that project. And you'll see that that custom map that was geocoded by Floodwise is now available to us from the Active Image Layer drop-down menu. Remember, you can view all layers managed in Floodwise, whether it be flood insurance rate maps, symbols, control points, or custom images right on the surface of Google Earth in 3D with the click of a button. In Google Earth, we have the ability to do a number of things. One of those things is to adjust the opacity, and we can see the surface of the Earth through the layer that we've overlaid on it. I can also rotate and adjust the view. The last floodwise feature I'd like to share with you today is the Forms library, which is accessed from the toolbar at the top of my screen. This is where you will find all important FEMA forms and certificates. Users can complete elevation certificates as you see in the example here. The gray fields denote the areas that require completion. You can navigate through all pages in the form with the buttons at the bottom of the screen. Notice we've captured the ability to import associated images. Also note from the Forms library that the MTEZ and the flood hazard forms are included and accessed here. I can also find and review letters of map revision, amendment, or change for any flood insurance rate map that's stored in my database. Now, in order to see a corresponding LOMAR, LOMA, or LOM-C, we needed to go and pull up the flood insurance rate map layer. They're accessed from the Document Search button on the toolbar. All of the letters of map revision, amendment, or change related to the flood insurance rate map that I'm currently viewing appear in this list. Note that forms can be accessed, completed, reviewed, and printed from Floodwise at any time. For surveyors, formats can be customized to include your company information and special notes and printed at any time. Thank you again for your time. For more information on how Floodwise can improve your daily processes, complete and submit the Contact Us form on this website, and a member of our team will be in touch with you promptly.